welcome to the USMC podcast. It's Uncle Sam's marketing channel. Today, I'm joined by Cassadee Jackson. Welcome, Cassadee.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing great. How's your Thursday going? We're going to date this episode, but
It's going. Just trying to get through the week.
that's how we always are.
Yep.
So, I'm really glad that you could join me today. It's always tough getting on people's schedules, and especially nowadays. But I think that doing remote stuff, for me at least, has made things a lot easier to do things and set your own schedule in a sense. Because I don't know about you, but I roll right out of bed and get right to work, and then I got to get kicked off my computer to get back to it. Back to spending time with the family.
Yep, I know it. That's one of the things that I found a little challenging since we started working remotely, is just trying to separate work from life.
So, the premise of the show, just to recap again, is it's just talking to Marines that are now marketers or in the marketing field, or, even entrepreneurs and that sort of thing. So before I do that, I normally go into the big question: why the Marine Corps?
Oh, why the Marine Corps? I come from a long line of Marines. So my dad's 20 years retired, and I actually tried to join the Air Force first, but knee surgery in high school, and the Marine Corps, they just take anybody's apparently. But no, definitely was the right choice for me though. Once I got in and started seeing how my personality fit there, I was really happy with my decision most days.
I think that's universal most days. You love the Marine Corps today?
I always say, yeah. I always say I miss the clowns, not the circus.
That's a great way to think about it. I might have to. Have you already trademarked that?
No, but
TM.
Marketing 101.
So you when did you go in?
So I joined in August 2018. I'm from North Carolina, so just skipping a hop down to South Carolina, Parris Island. That's where I did the grand old boot camp adventure. Yeah, I guess why I chose to join was, I guess at that time in my life, I was just didn't really know what I wanted to do yet, and I was going to community college for criminal justice. I thought I wanted to be a cop, but realistically, I just wanted to play volleyball. And in JUCO, my 2 years was running out, so I didn't really know what the plan was. But I was decided between one of two things: I was going to transfer to a 4-year university, or I was going to join the Marines. So I went and talked to a recruiter on both sides, and weighed my options. And by the time the scholarship came through for the D1 school, I was already going to MEPS. So, yeah. So it kind of it happened, luck of the draw, I guess, life, fate, destiny, whatever. But yeah, it worked out great, and I wouldn't trade my time for anything.
I guess a perfect segue into that is your MOS, and I saw that you're in communications.
I was, yeah. So great story here. Going into, grand old recruiters tell us we're going to do one job, and then we don't always get stuck with that one. So I ended up in the communications field, but as a maintainer, because electricity and electrical was the only thing I studied for on the ASVAB. So that's how I ended up in the comm field. But I learned so much in communications. I was a 2841, 2862, so communications maintenance chief, aka technical program manager in the real world. But I learned so much that I've definitely been able to bring over into my role now, and going through college, just trying to figure out what I wanted to be when I grew up after I got out.
Was it actual radio work, or was it more PR work on the communication side?
No, okay, that's the good thing about communication. I thought coming out, I was going to be doing, I wanted to go to school for communication because that's all I knew. Well, communication in the real world isn't the same thing as communication in the Marine Corps. I worked with electronics and radios and actual telecommunications, so very different than what I thought I was going to school for. But I jumped into it and started learning, okay, I actually like this kind of communication better. So that's how it's all spun. And yeah, best decision I've ever made was just to keep following the path.
That was my segue into when you said no regrets, and I'm like, not even 29 Palms?
Uh,
No.
that was not by choice, but
Yeah,
we do what we
I
got to
chewed a
do.
lot of sand out there myself too, so not a fun place.
Yeah, I that was the first place I learned where you're either a gym rat or a bar rat. So luckily, I was in really good
It's
shape.
similar to when I was stationed in Okinawa. We always said that you either came out a, and please, if I offend you, I apologize. Anybody out there listening or watching later, you come out of the off the rock either a Jesus freak or an alcoholic, and I didn't go to church that much, so
Oh well,
that's right.
different strokes for different folks.
Well, cool. So communications. I mean, I think it's a like a great base for even marketing today, because I mean the technologies and that sort of thing we're using, you always have to adapt to that, whatever the actual medium that our messages are being sent over. So, and the funny thing is, you probably
Absolutely.
my aim was I was an 0411, so you probably didn't like the guys that represented my shop too much, the maintenance management.
I actually wanted to be you guys. So
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, going into a comm shop and talking to like the comm CEO and saying, "You're all messed up. You haven't done your PMs, and you're not combat ready." And I'm going to tell the colonel, that sort of thing. So
yeah, well, that's I became the middleman for our commanding officer and then you guys.
that's
So
awesome.
I got to play that fun job.
So when you did get into the fleet, who did you serve with?
So my first duty station, I was stationed in Camp Pendleton with First Marine Division, with Com Company, woohoo, standard bearers. But yeah, I spent my first 2 years there, and then I PCA'd right down the road to 7th ESB. If you didn't know that, ESB doesn't stand for Engineer Support Battalion. It actually stands for End of Service Battalion. But yeah, I worked there, and that's where I was a maintenance chief as a corporal, and got to work with EOD and Bridge Company,
Those
and
guys are
all
crazy,
those fun
especially
engineers.
EOD.
They are. Yeah, they're a
You got a
different
live
breed
grenade
within the
that's
Marine
that's
Corps.
on the range. Everybody stops. They walk over with a piece of C4, throw it into the field. It goes boom. They go back to training. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So now that
Yes.
we talked about your Marine Corps experience, why don't we move on to your career after the Marine Corps? I kind of, I stalked you a little bit on LinkedIn. I was trying to do my homework. It was a good stalk. It was like, checking out your background here. So
That's the way I like to be stalked.
exactly, yeah. Any other way, I'm going to call the cops.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
so when did you actually transition back? I mean, what year? You were in 5 years?
I was in for 5 years, yes. So I went on terminal leave in July of 2018. It's funny that you say, when did I transition back, though, because I don't feel like I ever transitioned back. I feel like once you go into the Marine Corps and you live the active duty life, that's the only part I can speak of. So I don't know how reserves or, whatever else is. But once you've lived that active duty life, it changes who you are going forward in life for the rest of it. So I don't think I ever transitioned back out,
Well,
but I know
I
what you
mean,
meant.
I'm going to say the same thing you did, but thanks for hanging me out to dry there. I've been out a lot longer than you are, so I feel like the world is slowly absorbing me again.
Slowly, I feel like I'm kind of becoming more part of First Civ Div rather than, you know,
You don't
hoorah.
answer a question with raw. Arr. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that or
Check,
kill or
check
yet or
first,
whatever.
Sergeant.
Good to go. I do still say tracking.
Did you go? I mean, did you go right into work after the Marine Corps? Did you go back to school? I mean, what was the plan?
Oh man. So I feel like I was one of those, a lot of us get stuck in the rut once we get out. We don't know what we want to be when we grow up. We don't know what's after the only thing we've known for the past 4 or 5 years, sometimes 20. But yeah, I got out and I got into the University of Michigan. So I was going there for business, and I had done school while I was in the Marine Corps, so I transferred. Um, but found out quickly that after an accounting class that is not what I wanted to do with my life. So started learning a little bit more about business side and decided I wanted to be a recruiter. So I got into staffing, and then I realized how much money the people were making that I was putting into positions that had a degree. And I was like, okay, I really need to go finish my schoolwork. So I applied at Michigan State and ended up going to Michigan State. And that's where I graduated from with my communications degree. And yeah, I am a Spartan, die hard, bleed green. I love Michigan State. So I feel like that's where I found myself and where I would go next in life. That's what led me to what I do now.
I also see that you got a certification and stuff from Syracuse as well.
I did. So great resource for any vet or service member that's out there. Onward to Opportunity. I got my certification through them, and you go to Syracuse online. It's a program, IVMF, I believe it stands for. But yeah, you just do coursework online, and they prepare you to take your PMP exam, and yeah, but you get a certification from Syracuse that says, "Hey, I did this."
Some good schools there to have your background in. And I know when we were talking earlier, you said that you're working on your MBA right now. Is it an MBA or?
I'm working on my master's in arts, but I'm in strategic communication, so kind of a very niche field. But I think Michigan State is one of the first colleges or universities to actually start that. But we have 100% placement rating after
Well,
graduation.
so are you doing that online as well right now, or are you actually in Michigan?
I am doing it online. I moved down to Texas in January, so it's where I wanted to be at. I was tired of living in Michigan in the cold, and I was ready to just explore somewhere else. So moved down here, and now I'm next to Fort Hood, hanging out with the soldiers, and different life
I grew up here in Texas, so I'm not too far. Well, as Texas goes, I'm not too far away from you. I mean, it still takes me half a working day just to get to San Antonio, but let's say that. So, well, that's cool.
Right.
So we talked about your education. We talked about transitioning back to civilian life. I see that you're now. I mean, you've had a couple of roles moving on in the communications side of things and the recruiting and that sort of thing. So. Right now, I see that you're working for a company called Escalent. What are they all about? What are you all about?
So Escalent is we do qualitative and quantitative research. We have, I know for sure, at least 7 different industry groups, but we just acquired another small business. So
more work, probably.
I don't know what's coming, but more work, exactly. I work specifically in automotive and future product or advanced product. So I get to see about market acceptance and help engineers design what's going to be accepted, what people actually want, what they need. I just try to help them understand the customer better and give them what they need. It's one of those jobs that you don't know exists until you pull up the website and you're like, wait, people get paid to do this for a living? So yeah.
What are your data, without giving anything away that may be proprietary, but what are your data points? What are your data? Do you aggregate data yourselves? Do you get access to aggregated data, put it together? How's that process work?
Yeah, so I mean, we pretty much use we're primary researchers, so we conduct our own clinics, our own surveys. We do everything soup to nuts, start to finish, and come out and tell them. I mean, it's a lot of syndicated research or custom research, so it just depends on what the client wants to know, and we help them formalize curiosity is the best way I come to explain it is we just take what you want to know and tell you what it is or how to find it.
I've been doing marketing for over 18 years, and I was going through things, and I was like, and I'm a data monkey. I cut my teeth in marketing, starting out as a marketing analyst. So I'm used to seeing data. I'm used to digging it up and formatting and stuff. But the stuff that you do is really, it looks like really fun. I mean, if you like data, you have to like data.
It's the best job. Yeah. It is definitely the place where I feel, you always want that job where you wake up in the morning and you're excited to go to work. That's finally what I've found in what I do now. And yeah, it totally changes your life when you enjoy what you do for a living.
What does a project specialist
Oh,
do? Because that title can go all over the place in the marketing community.
yeah, it can. So the best way to describe the project specialist or my role to, I guess, the Marine Corps community is I'm a staff sergeant, I guess. I don't know what the day is going to be like until someone tells me this is what we're working on. And then I do proposals, I do logistics, I travel all the time. A couple weeks ago I was in New York for 3 days, turned around and went to LA for a week. And yeah, there is no average day in the life. It's just go as it comes, embrace the chaos and work long hours. But it's just, work doesn't feel like work. It's just, I get to research all day. That's all I do. I research all day.
I guess you just said that you love the research and you get to do that all day. What's been the most exciting thing that you've been able to do since you've been with them?
Oh goodness. I would say I've gotten to go. I went to Air Venture for a project, which is in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and did a project up there. And that was so cool just to, like, I was there for one reason, but I got to experience so much other things that was going on and like a whole different community. And I think just traveling in general is the best part because you get to experience cultures all over the United States, and one state's different than the other, and people talk different, they live different, they are different. It's just,
Yeah, I love that part. I mean,
understanding
my
people.
last duty station was with 5th Marines at Pendleton, and I got married very young. I was at 20 years old when I got married, but that was my starter wife.
Oh man.
Well, my
I
wife
had
now has had a starter husband too, so we're both like very happy with each other. But she is and was a SoCal girl, so I stayed in California. I enjoyed it. There's a lot of things to do, but to your point, I love the fact that there were so many different cultures and communities and languages and food and everything. It's very
Yeah.
it's very helpful, especially for creative types to be around those things. So
Yeah, for sure. And I'm from North Carolina, from BFE, North Carolina. Like my neighbors were tobacco fields. So when I, joined the Marine Corps and moved to California, it was definitely a culture shock for me, just, experiencing everything that we didn't have at home. And that was 18 years of my life.
yeah,
And you go there and it opens your eyes.
how did you
Yeah.
actually land the role of project specialist? I mean, what were you doing before then that like prepared you for that?
So when I was working as a recruiter, I had a supervisor that was amazing. And I told him, I knew I loved recruiting because I liked helping people, but I didn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. So I kind of confided in him my aspirations for life. And he really pushed me to, go back to school and finish what I was doing and try to figure out what it was that would make me happy. So I did that and I went back to school and I tried to go back to Michigan State for business, but I ended up somehow in communications and it just worked out that way. So once I started learning in my education about um, just everything from cognitive human behavior, psychology, just the way that we are as human beings, that's what drove me to looking more into market research. But I found out that my supervisor that I had confided in he had moved over to Escalent. So I'm looking at their website and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool. Like people get paid to do this." So I messaged him and asked him, how you're liking it and all that good stuff. And he told me that the company culture there was what stood out most to him. And that was the reason why I wasn't happy in my previous job. So after listening to him and understanding that he was happy doing what he was doing, just that culture shift made him happy, that's how I kind of ended up pursuing Escalent. I was a strategy hire there in automotive. They didn't really know where they were going to put me, but I started out in May as a research analyst, and then I showed them that I can do the projects with logistics and everything else, and now I'm doing my dream job.
It's always cool when you run into those things. I mean, like my experience at Avery, I just got in the door being a data monkey, and then was quickly promoted to handling point of purchase displays, and I love doing that. And then I got into category management, and again, that's like where I really love to do things because you could physically see the change that you were making, and it's awesome. And I'm sure that being in the automotive space, like where do you, without giving away too much proprietary data, like which vehicles do you see that your projects are coming up in? Are they future vehicles? Are they current? I mean,
I work in kind of everything. That's the beauty of syndicated research. Sometimes I get to go work on things that are already out and just see, what people really want to tell you about them. And sometimes people are very honest about what they don't like. So that's fun. But I moving over into advanced product, I do get to do a lot more of like future vehicles, anything that's coming out, within the next quarter to the next 5 years. So it's really exciting to see my research be a part of something that actually is physically
is
there.
the
Like
is
I
the
help
core of
make
what you
that,
do in survey? Is it like focus group? I mean, how do you?
We do everything. That's the project specialist, We I create surveys, I run focus groups, I analyze qualitative data, I do everything.
So, what's the next big step for your career? You said you're loving the job now. Um, do you always want to stay in it as a project specialist, or where? If it's vertically within the company, where do you see yourself? Um, and not to tell your bosses that you're looking to get out of there. Like future wise, what would be your dream job?
Oh, no, like I said, I'm an open book, and coming over to advanced product team, I told them straight up, like, hey, I have big aspirations. I'm going to take your job one day when you retire. Like, I want your job. And that's what people want to hear. They want to be able to mold people to do what they do because they know they can't be there forever. So why not leave some kind of legacy behind? So I want to just learn as much as I can, become a subject matter expert in the field, and
Yeah, see, there's lots of EVPs, VPs, and when you look at the about section in Escalent, I'm like, man, there's like 6 VPs in there.
yeah, we're a really big company. We have our office in Detroit or Livonia, and then we have one in Irvine and another in Shanghai and another in London. So we're all over the place.
Is there anything that you'd like to like add to that? I mean, I guess maybe when it comes to people that were in a similar role to you in the Marine Corps. I mean, just that there is more than just hello, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I guess you just have to really do your research. The one thing I found coming out of the Marine Corps that helped me so much was LinkedIn. I am such a huge fan of that platform. Um, because one thing I've learned is people like to talk about themselves. And if you're trying to learn more about yourself, why not ask somebody else to get real insight? So I just started connecting with veterans who did things I thought were interesting, and I'd message them and say, "Hey, whatever you're doing looks really cool. Do you mind hopping on a call and telling me about it? And that's how I pieced together what made me happy and how I could make money and make a living doing what made me happy. So I would just say, once you're getting out, or if you're in the process of transition, or you're just unhappy with where you're at right now, get on LinkedIn, get on Veterati.
Yeah, and I've noticed that too because, when it comes to social media in general and the military, there's so much going around about OPSEC and, that sort of thing. Although, you see a lot more TikTok stars now from the military, and you're sitting there going, how are you guys getting away with that? Like all the different uniform things and people, their hair, and you get.
Well, things change, and it's changed a lot. I've only been out for 3 years, but I consider myself old core at this
It's been
point.
interesting to see that.
It's different.
Going from you don't talk about anything outside of the military. You don't talk specific subjects that are never brought up.
I don't know. I was raised, you don't talk politics, you don't talk religion, and you don't talk salary.
Yeah, that's we actually have that rule at the brewery at 5x5. It's we say, and when we hear somebody talking politics or religion, we always say, hey, we treat the tap room like it's Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah, take it outside.
No, don't even take it outside. Like, take it to the car. Just,
out of here.
It's just have fun. That's the biggest thing. So. But I mean, communication is key and that sort of thing. But the reason I you were talking about me about going down rabbit holes, reeling myself back in. I mean, my point was to kind of reiterate what you were saying about LinkedIn, and if there's any Marines out there that are active duty now, listening, or just recently transitioned, LinkedIn is such a great tool. For one thing, it's the one social media platform that you can still communicate on and maintain that OPSEC. I mean, you can say what your MOS is. You don't have to say where it was and that sort of thing. And the people that you're talking to and interacting with, they're professionals for the most part. Mm-hmm. I mean, you have the random ones out there, but LinkedIn does a really great job about filtering those fake, spam bots and all that sort of thing. So,
well, and the thing I love too is it's social media. You don't have to be sergeant whoever or lieutenant whoever. You can just be yourself. It doesn't have to have anything to do with the Marine Corps. You learn to make it a personal brand. Learn to sell yourself, not I'm a Marine. That once you're out, no one cares what you had on your collar. No one cares what you did. They just know, okay, you were in service. Cool. What do you bring to the table? So just learn to translate everything you do into civilian lingo, and you're not breaking any OPSEC because they don't know what you're talking about anyway.
Yeah, although I will say this, do not, because I did this to my VP of Sales and Marketing at Avery, Amy Ladwig. If you've come across my podcast and you listen to this episode, I love you, Amy. You are awesome. But I still remember sitting in the break room with her, and she had just come in from Clairol, and we didn't really know each other that much, and she's like, I don't really know much about you, Sean. I mean, where did you come from, and what did you do before this? And so I thought I'd have fun with her, and I said, well, I was a professional athlete for a while. And she was like, oh my God, that's really cool. And I said, yeah. And, I was, I did logistics, and, for a while I was a janitor and, her face was just like, and I said, I was in the Marine Corps. She goes, oh my God, thank God. I didn't know who we had just hired, and, but I like sharing that, your Marine Corps experience, it opens you up to so much, transferable experience that people don't realize. You got to put all of that down.
And that's such a great way to look at it too. It took me so long to try to explain how I could take what I knew, military experience, and translate it into civilian work, because it's so hard to communicate with civilians when you're first getting out. But that's a great way to say it. Like, I started as a janitor. You still worked for the Marine Corps, but you were a janitor.
And the nice thing about this podcast being about the marketing and that sort of thing, every Marine marketer out there, or every veteran marketer out there, hey, we know how to market to the veteran community, the law enforcement current. It's not always it's not always the most professional way.
Yeah.
But there is a niche for it, so
It is.
yeah.
And I feel like the world is changing so much right now where it's like with memes and just the way we communicate in general and the channels that we use, you have to find kind of the grit that comes with humor, and you have to learn how to channel it and be prosperous with it.
Right. Well, that's cool. I mean, we really kind of got off topic, but reeling myself back in again, use LinkedIn. My final thing on LinkedIn, I actually, because of the OPSEC and all that sort of thing and other channels, have recently reunited with Marines that I served with, specifically like my staff NCOs and my officers. I mean, my S4 officer, who went on to he was a lieutenant colonel when he was a major when he was at 5th Marines with me, and went on to be a full bird, and high up in some of the commands. So it was just again, no presence online, no way to find them, So it is a great way for any of you veterans that are out there to find people that you want to reconnect with, as long as they're not even farmers out there. But I mean, for the most part, I just do a search, you'll probably find them. So.
Right. Yeah, it's all there. And last thing with LinkedIn, if you are getting out, use your veteran status on ID.me to get LinkedIn Premium. That's it. That's all I'm going to say. Figure it out.
Yeah, I've done ID.me Premium too, and it's actually it's a nice thing to do, because there's a
great
tool. Yeah, I mean, it's universally accepted. I mean, and when you start working with a VA and your records and DEERs and all that stuff, having an ID.me account is awesome, because you can log into any of them with that.
Yeah, well, just LinkedIn Premium is what, like $119 a month or something like that. And if you're a veteran, you get it for free for a year. So use that. Use all the resources you can get.
Well, cool. Well, moving on from LinkedIn, this has been brought to you by LinkedIn. Hey, pay me now.
Hey, LinkedIn.
Hey, LinkedIn. I'll keep pushing out there. Cassidy and I we're gonna advertise you up and down the block. So start sending the money.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll send you my bank information.
I'll put my Cash App below.
You can just Venmo me. All right. Well, I always like to segue over to community. I mean, personally, a lot of Marines and service people go in for that service to their country, and a lot of us get out and want to continue that selfless service attitude and bring it into the community. What kind of community involvement are you involved with? I said involved twice, so.
It's fine. So yeah, my big thing that I'm involved with right now is Veterati. It's a free resource for transitioning honestly, it's just for any military background, even spouses or just their families. But I'm a mentor on there, so I've tried to tell myself I wish I could be the person that I wish I had met when I got out. So just giving back to those who might be struggling with trying to figure out what to do next, or they're just stuck and they don't know which path to take. Or they just don't know what they like. They don't know what they want. I love talking to people and trying to help them understand what makes them happy, what they're passionate about, and how they can take their experience, no matter what MOS they came from and no matter what branch they came from. You have leadership skills, you have teamwork skills. There's so much you have to offer. You just have to learn where to apply it. So Veterati is the one platform that I wish I had known about coming out of the military, because that's the one that no one talked. I don't even know if it was out when I got out, but definitely great resource to use. But when I was at Michigan State, I also worked with the Veterans Resource Center there. So helping student vets, whether they're just, coming straight out or going back to school for, they're way down the line in their education and they're just now realizing I should probably use my GI Bill. But help people just learn how to utilize that to the max ability, or get into voc rehab or trade school, whatever it is you're trying to do. I just love helping people figure out where they're going. So I'm always here. My door's always open. I'm open door policy.
That's cool. Yeah, and so I would be remiss as the good Marine Corps League member that I am. Have you heard of the Marine Corps League?
I haven't, and well, not around here, but I'm still kind of new to the area.
It's the best kept secret in the Marine Corps. I will say this. So if you're out there and and I'll probably say this in every episode because I drank the Kool-Aid hard. So I founded the Rio Grande Valley Detachment of the Marine Corps League. So in a nutshell, the Marine Corps League is a veterans organization that's similar to like American Legion, VFW, and that sort of thing, but it's Marine Corps focused. So our membership is made up of Marines, honorably discharged, retired, active duty, reservists, also FMF corpsman and FMF chaplain for regular membership. And we also have associate membership, from the community that want to be involved with it. So again, it's a lot of people don't know this. It's been around since 1924. And it was actually one of the first commandants was actually Lejeune. So people were like, is this new? No, it's been around for a while.
No.
And I didn't hear about it for almost 20 years after I got out of the Marine Corps. But so we're, it's in the detachments are, just like posts for the Legion and stuff. They're in every community area around the country. And, if you're looking for something to get involved with, it's a great organization to be involved with. Cause like right now we're like kicking out with Toys for Tots. That's one of our biggest projects, platforms, and for the community, working with the reserve unit, officially with the Marines for the Toys for Tots campaign, since we're at the local level. And in some cases, there isn't a reserve unit that's nearby, and the recruiters aren't necessarily doing it. So in a lot of cases, the Marine Corps League organizes those Toys for Tots campaigns for the location. So, awesome. And you're up in San Antonio area?
No, I'm in Killeen. I'm right next to Fort Hood.
Yes, I can always forget where Fort Hood is up there. So, yeah.
I'm 2 hours south of Dallas and an hour north of Austin.
Oh, okay. So, all right, got you. Yeah, I'll get you offline because there's a couple of detachments near there if you want to interested in getting going with that. But I always do my due diligence. Like I said, I founded a detachment, and I'm also on the basically the secretary treasurer for the state of Texas. So it's I drink the Kool-Aid hard.
Yeah.
So what other affiliations do you have? Are you with any professional organizations or anything like that?
Not particularly. I have some people that I am close with that are part of like the Marine Corps Association and the Marine Corps Business Network and stuff like that. But no, not really into professional organizations. I stay busy with work. I should do more, but but yeah, that's my excuse.
Yeah, we talked earlier about being busy. Yeah, as we said before, we kind of take on way much more. We say yes more than we say no. So, yeah.
Yeah. I did work with PAVE for a bit, Peer Advisors for Veteran Education. So that's another good resource, their nation. And then I guess Student Veterans of America. Okay, maybe I do more than that. Student Veterans of America.
Your brain starts tallying, and you're sitting there going, what don't I do? It's crazy.
Right.
When do I sleep?
Yeah. I don't, because when I'm sleeping, I'm still dreaming of work.
Well, that's a good sign. As long as they're not nightmares, you're good.
No, just thinking.
Well, cool. So I guess at this point we've kind of gone through, your early childhood. I'm joking. We've gone through your early career. We're going mid-career. We're talking about current and future. What would your Marine Corps self today? What piece of advice would you give those Marines transitioning? And okay, to your point, those Marines that are no longer working actively in the military.
Oh, so okay, so
Yeah,
the
well,
ones that
you
are
said that
out.
we don't get out and we don't transition.
Uh,
You left me hanging on that one. So
yeah. Well, the ones that are no longer wearing the
there you
uniform.
go.
Uh, I would say network, network, network. That is the most. That's the biggest thing you can do for yourself is to keep learning about what is happening with other people, what's happening in the world, what other people do, and just stay connected where you can. Try to find the veterans that are doing things that are similar to you or doing things that you're interested in, and just connect with them, because at the end of the day we still need that sense of camaraderie and community. So just find it wherever, however you can, in positive ways. But yeah, and then I guess another thing that I would want to tell people is it's hard getting transitioning. It's hard going from wearing the uniform every day to actually having to pick out an outfit. So talk to somebody, find resources for that too. Yeah. And don't have the mentality that it's you have to be stronger. Like, it's okay not to be okay. Talk about it. Get it out. It helps.
Yeah, and I'd echo that because I mean, without going way back into the LinkedIn thing, it's okay. I mean, I will say as a veteran that's been out for quite a while, I hate saying it, it's been out quite a while. I got out in '97, so my beard will tell you that I'm getting up there. But yeah, I mean, the biggest thing for me too, for as a veteran, is that we're a lot more approachable than you guys will think. So, especially if you're, because I get contacted all the time from people, especially down here in the Rio Grande Valley, because the cost of living is so low that people just they find where is it, like they'll Google cheapest place to live, right? And then they'll move here, and you're sitting there going, "Why did you come here? Did you have a job?" "No, I didn't have a job. It was just the cheapest place to live."
I'm just winging it.
And they do, and they
I'm just
do.
winging
So
it.
I guess my input to that would be, yeah, contact, like look us up on LinkedIn, do your research, find those people in the areas that you're considering, moving to, even if it's back home. Do the networking aspect of it, and reach out. Most of us will have that network already established, and we'd be happy to share it with you. So.
Yeah. And I would say too, if you're coming out, you're leaving post, going wherever, don't go back home. You left there for a reason. Just don't do it. Go at least one place and experience life as a civilian without your family around. Just go learn how to be a real adult without the Marine Corps. you know, that's such a thing. I just feel like so many people end up going right back to where they left, and it's like, why? Why'd you even
I
do
got sucked
anything?
back here.
Sorry if I offend you.
No, I got sucked back here too. I told myself I would never move back here. There's not there. I shouldn't say this because I'm not going to say it because I sit on the Chamber of Commerce for one of the cities down here, so I should just say positive things about this area. Now there are a lot of great things.
Yeah, no, I mean, not everywhere is bad, but if you come from somewhere where
Yeah.
there's no opportunity and that was why you left, don't go back. Just keep pushing forward.
Yeah,
Is what I'm
no, there's
saying.
there's a lot of great things down here, but to your point, I mean, I enjoyed spending time outside, learning new things and that sort of thing. So it's not a bad thing to go back home eventually. But to your point, yeah, I mean, like even if you get out of Lejeune or Pendleton or whatever, hopefully not Pendleton, the cost of living is so crazy when you get out there. But yeah, try looking around your surroundings that maybe you didn't check out too much, because there's a lot of opportunity out there.
Yeah. We can just cut that whole part if you want. I don't want to step on
It may
anybody's
go.
toes.
It may stay. It may be in the outtakes, But Yeah, especially
The
me
outtakes. Yeah.
potentially discouraging anybody from moving here. It's a little counterproductive.
Yeah, no, I should have Yeah, I should have worded
That
it
and
different.
I just got appointed as
Yeah.
the vice chair for tourism. Yay, Sean! Let's just say, don't come here.
Oh, but you live in a good spot. Like I'm from BFE nowhere, so don't. And I know so many people that are from BFE, but they go
That's
back to
true.
BFE.
Yeah, and if you're comfortable in BFE, that's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I shouldn't tell people how to live their lives.
Well, that's cool. Well, you know, I really appreciate you taking the time. It's during the workday and that sort of thing. So it's really been a lot of fun talking to you and getting some great insights of what you're doing now and where your professional career has gone and what your company does. I mean, it sounds really interesting. I may be putting my resume in soon too. You never know, but
Let's work together.
I really appreciate you joining me on the show, and I'd love to have you on again at another time, maybe with a panel. It'd be awesome. But I really appreciate it. I
Yeah.
hope you have great success in what you're doing and you're moving up in the company.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you reaching out, and thanks for having me. It was great to meet you.
Well, that's all it is. That's all there is for today, guys. I appreciate you joining me as well. And, follow me on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. It's usmc.fm. That's the web address as well. So there's no way you can find me. If you're listening, subscribe to the podcast. The videos are going to be posted out there regularly. And we'll do some live streams coming up too. With some extra special guests, where you can call in and ask questions or, just contribute to the conversation. If you'd like to be on the show, please reach out to me on any of those platforms, and I'd be happy to book you and talk to you as well. So have a great day, guys, and thanks for listening to the USMC podcast.